back for another DIY Halloween tutu costume tutorial. We're going to be making a minion dress today. I have already cut out my blue tulle, which I got from Hobby Lobby, and it is 100% polyester tulle. The crochet top I purchased from eBay. If you just search crochet tutu top in your search bar, it will come up with different sellers. Make sure to pay attention to the shipping time. Some do ship from China. And if you want to see how I cut my tulle, I do have two other videos. The No Sew Tutu tutorial and the American flag tutorial show in detail how I cut my tulle. And for the top, we're making a 12 to 18 months, so I'm using a 9-inch top. You can also use an 8-inch for this size. I'm going to take one strip of tulle, yes, just one. I'm going to be doing 2 layers, but on 2 separate rows of the top. So that's why I'm going to do one strip. And we're going to go in to, I'm going to give you a close-up here on where you're going to place it on which hole. So let's see. Starting from the bottom, I'm going to grab, let's get a closer look on that, the hole right above one of those solid squares. You don't want to go in between where there's a thin thread because you can tear through that. So you want to go in with the hole that's above one of those solid squares in the crochet. So you're going to fold your strip of tulle in half and place the folded side, the loop, excuse me, through that hole above the square. So I'm going to show you how to do that here. Place the folded edge into the hole, open that loop, and then pull the strands through so you're creating a slip knot. Be careful not to pull too tight. You don't want to stretch out the top or tear through it, so use your fingers to guide you. And instead of going around the dress twice, I'm going to do both rows at the same time. So now I'm going to go in to the hole above the one that we just used. So there's a square, a solid square right above. I'm going to go in the hole right above that and come out the hole underneath, which is where the previous strip of tulle was placed. So we're going to go in and out, and then you're going to open up that loop to pull the strands of tulle through. Again, be sure not to pull too tight because you don't want to stretch out the top. I'm just going to continue placing my strips of tulle all the way around the dress, being sure to do 2 rows at the same time. You can go around the entire dress twice if you really want to, but I figured since I'm already in that spot, why not just do both? So again, just take your strip of tulle, fold it in half, place the folded edge into the hole, and then pull the strands through the loop, creating a slip knot. I'm going to be doing this to the entire dress, 2 rows, and I will meet you back here. Oh, I did forget to mention, this is again for size 12 to 18 months. So I'm making mine so that the end result is 7 to 7.5 inches long for the tutu skirt part of it. So I did cut my tulle at 15 inches long, in case I didn't mention that. So again, I cut my strips of tulle at 15 inches. Now we're going to jump ahead to the decorations for the dress. What you will need is black and white felt, some silver rickrack trim, and a black crochet headband or the one on the spool so you can customize it to your own size. This is what that looks like. So I purchased the crochet band on the spool at Hobby Lobby. I went when they were 50% off, so it was 50% off of $2.99. And then I just cut that to the same width of the crochet top that I was using. So I just measured it around, cut that, and then sewed a seam with my sewing machine to create a band. And then I'll show that to you right now. Okay, so here's the band that I had created. I sewed a seam on the inside. You're not going to see this part, so it doesn't matter what color thread you use. And this is going to be used as a detachable piece for the dress. So just sew across there, and then you have your band. Then you will need 2 circles. I used a bowl, just like a breakfast bowl. I used the bigger side of the bowl to measure my white felt, and then I used the bottom of the bowl, the circle on the bottom, to cut out or measure the black piece. So you're gonna want about an inch in width between the black circle and the white one. And then you're going to get some silver rickrack trim. I also purchased this at Hobby Lobby, or you can get it at your local fabric store. They can cut it by the yard that way if you don't want to buy a whole spool of it. And then just a smaller 2-inch diameter circle so that we have something for it to attach to on the back of the band. So let's put that together now. You're going to take your glue gun, glue around the perimeter of the black circle, and then also make sure to glue in the center as well. And we're just going to glue that down perfectly center in the middle of our white circle. Again, we want it to be about an inch between the white and the black circle. So measure that out and press firmly. All right, so now we have our eyeball ready to decorate. I'm going to heat seal one end of my rickrack trim. I haven't cut this to size. I'm going to measure as I go. So I'm going to take my glue gun and start with about an inch of glue on the rickrack, and I follow the design of it. So I don't glue in a straight line. I do actually follow the curves of the trim and place that in between the black and the white circle. And then from here, I'm just going to continue to take about an inch at a time, gluing onto the trim, following the pattern of the trim, and then also making sure to maneuver the trim so that it's going in a circular pattern around the eyeball. So continue to do that until you get to the end, and then you can cut off any excess that you don't need. So I came to the end of my rickrack trim, so I trimmed off the excess that I don't need. I haven't glued down that last bit yet because I do want to make sure to heat seal that. Then I'm just going to glue down that last little piece. If you can get it to match up perfectly with the design, great. If not, just make sure that it's not off center. So you want to overlap it if you need to so that you can match with the design or the pattern of the rickrack. Okay, so we have our eyeball done. Now it's time to attach it to the band. Again, this is a detachable piece or detachable part of the costume, which is great because then you can redesign a whole new costume if you no longer need the Minion one, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. So here I just placed my 2-inch diameter circle on the inside of the band where the seam is because I want to cover up that seam. I'm just going to take my glue gun and glue around the perimeter of the felt circle, including directly over the crochet band, and then also make sure to get some glue in the center in between those holes so that you reach the felt on the inside. And we want to center that with the black circle of the eyeball. So make sure that is centered and press firmly. I'm going to flip that over so I can show you. We're just going to press that down. And that takes care of that. And then it's ready to go and ready to be used on our Minion costume. Also make sure that any edges that might be lifting, if you're making this for your child, you can go ahead and stop here. But me, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, especially when it comes to customer orders. So I am going to glue down any little flaps that might not have been glued down initially. Again, it's not going to make it any stronger. It just makes it a whole lot neater and more professional. Make sure you also get rid of all those pesky little glue strings. So you should have all of your tulle added to your dress. Now we're going to add the straps. This is a size 12 to 18 months, so I do end up cutting these straps to be 13 inches long each. And then we're going to attach those. So you should have both of your straps cut, and you want to make sure to heat seal one end to start of each strap. Now to add the straps, I'm going to fold that heat sealed end, and I'm going to go 2 rows down from the top of the bodice. So I'm going down 2 squares, choosing a hole that would be in line with the child's shoulders. So since I do have the help of a mannequin, I know exactly where I'm going to put that, but again, you can measure the child and the distance from shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to feed through that one end of the ribbon through that hole. Again, this is going to be about 1 inch from the top. Take your glue gun and place glue on the inside of the ribbon that you've put through the hole. I don't know why I cannot think right now. Okay, so then you're going to press firmly and attach the ribbon to itself. So we're going to fold that over and press firmly. Make sure to line that up as well with your ribbon. And then now turning it to the back, you're going to go down again about 1 inch, heat seal the other end, fold in half. It just makes it easier to put through the hole. Place the strap through the hole, and then you're going to be pulling that from the inside. Adjust so that it is the proper length for the shoulders. And I had cut the strap at 13 inches, but I ended up cutting off an extra inch, so you probably only need about a 12-inch strap. And then we're going to glue the inside to itself just as we did for the front. And as you can see here, I have added both of my straps, so now we are going to decorate and put on the final touches for the costume. So this is the detachable piece that we had created earlier. Once the dress is on the child, you're just going to pull this on overhead, just as you did for the dress, and adjust so that it is in the center of the torso. And then you can just fix the little crochet band so it's not folded. Now you want to take some more black felt and cut out a thin strip so that we can form in the shape of a mouth right underneath our little eyeball goggles. So just cut that strip of felt and we will place it on the dress. So we have our mouth strip, and we're going to be gluing that directly onto the dress. So you would just take your glue gun, place a strip of glue along the mouth, and then place directly onto the dress like this. And now you can see our minion is coming together. So we also want to make the little hairs that are going to come out from behind the eyeball. So you want to take your black felt again, cut out a rectangle piece. And with this rectangle piece, we're going to cut strips into it, but not all the way through. So you just want to make little frilly strips along one end of the rectangle. Again, do not cut all the way through. So just like that. Okay, and cut all the way until you get to the end. And what you can do is cut a little strip on the, or a little slit on the other side so that you can fold it over itself and it will fan out the little hairs that are on top. So you can leave it like that where it's just straight, or like I said, you can cut a little slit on the other side of the rectangle, which I will show you here. So I cut a little slit, making sure not to cut all the way through and split it in half. So just a little snip right there. And then you can take your glue gun and kind of fold it over so that it fans out so it's not sticking straight up. And then we're going to glue that directly behind the eyeball. So place some glue directly onto the bottom part of your hair piece, and we're going to glue that right behind the eyeball. Make sure that it's centered, and then just press firmly. You can spread out the little hairs. And then now we're going to glue down the mouth. All right, so press the mouth down firmly onto the dress, making sure that it is secure onto the crochet top. And if there are any edges that are lifting, just make sure to glue those down. And that is it, you guys. This is your completed Minion costume. Super easy to do, very girly. I am going to be putting out some more detailed videos as the weeks go on and the closer we get to Halloween. So please be sure to leave a comment below if there are any characters or themes you would like to see. I'm going to start with the easier ones, such as this one and the Olaf video that I had put out, so you guys can learn the basics on pretty much how I attach most of my items. And a lot of it is free-handed felt work. So I will get into more detailed costumes going forward. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. Thank you all for your support, and I can't wait to continue to see this channel grow.